Certainly, there are downfalls to citizen journalism. I think the main thing that comes to mind is we have a lot of people nowadays sharing information via social media platforms, and we have a lot of news outlets because of the way the news cycle is now turning to social media platforms to find information about news stories. And I think there's a definite downside to that because how do you know it's authentic? How do you verify it? And things like that before, particularly for journalists, before they actually publish, disseminate this information.
Lots of examples of people who have their own local blog and can post because frankly they don't know about libel law, they don't know about the repercussions of printing something serious about someone without verifying it, without having had Professor Mead loop. They just don't understand, and I think that's a serious danger, and sort of I think speaks to the importance of real media institutions that can think about and analyze and sift through data and sift through conflicting allegations before our society depends on these sort of filterless venues to get their information.
Pitfall to it is less about this, like citizens taking out their phones and like recording stuff and bringing up aggregating all of this. The fault, if there is any, comes with the poorly trained journalist who doesn't know how to vet the information properly.
There's certainly, that is another downside of citizen journalists, is that they don't have to run things past. I mean, as a reporter, you've got to run it, you've got to do the story, and then you've got to run it past a producer, and then your photographer edits the story, and that's a lot of eyes, and usually an anchor will read your script as well. That's a lot of eyes who've been able to see and catch factual mistakes. Whereas the citizen journalist, it's just your eyes, and out it goes.
Citizen journalism and social media, they certainly don't render traditional journalistic principles obsolete. If anything, they're more important now than ever because there's so much noise out there. So it's like, how do you filter through all that noise? And yes, anyone can now disseminate information, publish information, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're a journalist. And oftentimes you hear folks nowadays say, everyone's a journalist. And I cringe when people say that because it's not the case. Everyone can publish information, but not everyone's trained at providing context to that noise, and not everyone has the skills of going through the kind of methods of verifying and authenticating that information.